They don't like that. How you doing? Over here partying. I put an electrode in my mind and I want you to see what it's like. Hey, Antonia. How you like it? Hey, Brittany. What do you think of this? Yeah, I'm going to show it to my psychiatrist. I highly recommend it. Hey, Tricia. How are you? Oh, good. Don't like that. Oh, really? Where at, Brittany? What town you going to? Excuse me. What do you got? A cabin or a house up here or something? Yeah, but I'm not near there. I'm not near Battle Creek or Portage. That's a long ways away. Probably 200 miles. Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. Well, hope you have a good time. Good for you. Where do you live now? Yeah, that's the way I look at it. Oh, you poor thing, Florida. Oh, God. I couldn't wait to get out of there. No wonder you're going north. Hopefully, you don't get that Florida weather up here. Yeah, I know. I've driven to Florida a million times. Tried every way possible. Oh, okay. Where at? What part? Oh, okay. I was just down in Hilton Head at the beginning of March. I haven't been on a plane in 10 years. I mean, I know people. Honestly, I could probably do it, but the closest guy I know with the planes, about 150 miles from here. But if I did that, oh, excuse me, you know what? Then I'd have to hang around him for a day or two. Yeah, flying's a pain in the ass. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? Did you see that video I did with my 15 times lens multiplier of the ants? That was only like 12 bucks or something. I think it was worth it. Just put the GoPro right on top of it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you can't beat it for the money. No, I'll never get back into flying. Hey, David. How you doing? Yeah, it's faster, but it's a pain in the ass. Hey, Pebbles. Orlando. Hey, Sad Boys. Yeah, commercially it is. Yeah, oh yeah. Can't hardly take anything in your luggage. You can't, the size restrictions. Yeah. No, I'm going to try that tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, for 10 bucks or 15 bucks or whatever it was, it's worth every dime. Super crystal clear, and it's just like you'd expect in a expensive camera. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's it. Don't like too expensive too. I do that with hobbies. You get into them and you get sick of them. Once I'm done with something, I hardly ever go back, you know? You got to keep current, and it's just a pain in the ass. Yeah, I keep in contact with him, Brittany. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Don't like that. No, my time lapse pinner, it's not you don't charge it. You wind it up like an old alarm clock. It's no charging. You crank it up like an old alarm clock. And it spins around for 120 minutes. Did you know that, or you just haven't checked it out in the box? Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Well, then you'd have got a different one than I got, because the one I thought I sent you a link to is wind up. No, I've been staying up till like 2 and 3. Not all night though, like I was. No. Ugh. You staying up all night? Hey, sad boys. Oh, do you? Oh, okay. Good night, Brittany. Hope you have a safe trip when you come up here. Yeah, there was a softball tournament up here. There were some guys fishing while their daughters were playing in a softball tournament. See you, Enchanted. Yeah, it was. I guess there are teams from all over. I could hear them screaming. I didn't know what they were doing over there. Hey, Mia, how are you? Oh, okay. Well, good luck. Hope it doesn't. Hey, David. No, we missed. Didn't get any. I actually part of the reason I went down to Pinconning, you could see them to the south, but they looked like they all flattened out and dissipated. Oh, hardball. Okay. Oh, Daisy. Yeah, she's a great dog. You're doing pretty good, man. It's a really good dog. Now I wish we would have got him. Oh, okay. Yeah, the wind up works perfect. Be glad it's not a charging cable. All you do is twist it around to the 120 and it just starts clicking away. Yeah, it's good, man. I'm glad it doesn't have a charging cable. You don't need one. Works perfect. Hear Daisy down there snoring. Yeah, no, there's nothing to do. Take it out, rotate it, wind it up. You're off to the races. Oh yeah, I had a booth at that antique shop there on the northeast corner of 421. I don't even know if it's still there or not. Oh, okay, sad boys. Oh, good. Well, good luck. Good luck to you doing like that. Good luck. You ever go get those minor done hamburgers? Oh, okay. There used to be a girl, Kira, that ran it for her parents. Kira, real nice girl. What I did is I would buy complete collections. Like sometimes I'd be looking for something and I'd have to buy the whole house or something. So basically, you know, that kind of thing. There'd be a bunch of things I didn't want, but I'd just give them a bid on everything. So whatever came in it that I didn't collect. I was really into vintage marbles, photos. Oh, thank you, Dr. Green Thumb. Yeah, I quit collecting about 4 years ago. Hey, Michelle, how are you? I don't collect anything anymore except antidepressants. Hey, Penny, how you doing? You're up late tonight. Yeah, tell me about it. I sold some of them for 6,500 bucks a piece. That market's down now. Nothing really, Michelle. I just got on, see who was on. Varies, you know. No specific topic. There's something you want to talk about? Oh, are you, Penny? Okay. Yeah, good old stuff. That's right. Good, Penny. Oh, good, Jeff. What kind of festival? I feel terrible, Shannon. I don't feel good at all. Oh, good for you, Dr. Greenfield. Oh, okay, Penny. Is that a big deal for you, 4th of July? Probably busy at the store, huh? Oh, okay, Michelle. Yeah, I have a lot of interests. I feel like I got the flu. Achy, cold. Oh, Father's Day. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I got it today at 2:30. Yeah. Yeah. But I was up all night last night, so it could be a combination thing, you know. Oh, cool, Virginia. Good. Oh, good. Yeah, you'll like it. That's what I use all the time. Cinematic. Yeah, you know, I got the regular flu shot about 4 years ago and felt the same way. I was hoping this COVID would be a little different. Only reason I got it is because I'm going to start going back to this health club. I got the Johnson and Johnson. How long that lasts for you, Maxine? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I'll live. Just don't feel too good. Thank you. No, actually, I went, I did some video and got something to eat. And, I knew I was tired from last night and I probably overdid it. I probably should have went home and just laid around. Oh, okay, Maxine. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. But it's like anything, it gives you a new perspective on when you're not sick. You think every time I get sick like this, which I haven't been sick in like forever, I think to myself, these poor people that get diagnosed with these terminal diseases and they know they're never going to get better. What a terrible feeling that must be. I guess you're not supposed to take Tylenol or ibuprofen after a COVID shot. Oh, thank you. Don't like that. The blood clot issues they had were with women. Yeah, I'll have no problem laying around for a few days. Oh, okay, Maxine. Thank you. Maxine, what type of work do you do? Okay, Dr. Gatham. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does suck. It sure does. I got a buddy that's a doctor, and his partner is a doctor, and his wife is a doctor, and she got MS about 6 years ago. She still works, but as you know, it's a struggle. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it does. Yep. There's different theories on how you get that. Oh, interesting. Don't like that. Okay. Oh, okay, Maxine. Oh, did you? Yeah. You're not supposed to take Tylenol or ibuprofen. Oh, 07. Wow. Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, Acton. Well, that's what I was told by a nurse. I mean, I guess it was that big a deal. The guy would have told me that gave me the shot. The pharmacist gives the shot at Rite Aid. I haven't been out in a few hours. Earlier, they were not. Some scattered clouds, because you could see the moon at about 12 o'clock. Oh, you think that works, Jeff? Oh, yeah, mine feels a little sore. You know how when you feel like you have the flu, everything aches. Oh, okay, good for you. Daisy's great. Great dog. Oh, interesting, Drifter. Yeah, no, it's probably legit, the medication, because your immune system kicks in and it's a normal response. Oh, it did. Where are you at downriver? I'm from Flat Rock. Excuse me. I have heard about it. Yes. Yep. I have. I just can't imagine the bullshit you have to go through to get it. Not good, Blue. Not too good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I lived in Dearborn. I lived over on Drexel. I'm sure you go to Mexican Fiesta. Yeah, and there's quite a bit of them online. I use ketamine for a lot of things. It's part of a pink cocktail. Uh, it's got a lot of medicinal purposes. They're using mushrooms too, certain places. Yeah, I hope I do. Just laying around. Hey, Brendo. I do them. I just don't do them every day of my life. I mean, if you went to Mexico on vacation, would you expect to go there every year for the rest of your life? Yep, that's in Greetham. I have a book on that, but I bought it with regard to terminal illness. I haven't read it, but it's pretty damn interesting. I get the vaccine. I got it. I think the anti-vaccine people are crazy. Oh yeah, it was okay, Blue. Yep. There's just too much, like anything, it's not perfect. But if you take all the people that promote it and you look at their CV and what they do for a living, and all the people that don't, I'm going to go with the people that like it. I'm going to go with science. I'm not going to go with some candy-colored sawdust and spinning on my head while drinking hot cocoa. They're cool, aren't they, Nikki? I got a computer chip put in my mind, and then I put it on display. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty promising information, Green Thumb. It really is. Oh, sorry about that, Penny. I can't even tell you the last funeral I knew of. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Jeff, with the 15 times multiplier lens for the GoPro. Isn't that cool? It's only 15 bucks or something. Yeah, sorry about that, Penny. I mean, up here, I don't even think you could go to a funeral. I don't think they even have them, you know? Yeah, you know how it is as you get older, Penny. I think they're a complete and total waste of time. I do. But, they claim it's for closure and for the family and I would it's the survivors. You knew a good guy and you showed up. I do think it's a mechanism of respect. I go to them when I know somebody, but as far as I'm concerned, you could throw me in the back of a dumpster. I'd be fine with it. Yeah, aren't they cool? I just happened to see them there. You know what's funny about those ants is they come and they go. There were no ants there today. Zero, none. And it didn't rain. None. Oh, great guy. What did he die from? And like I mentioned all along, like one of my best friends is a doctor, right? He's been doing it for 40 years. He works like 80 hours a week. He makes rounds. He knows everything there is on COVID. He got COVID, actually. And I believe everything he tells me plus what I read. Yeah, that was just, those were some cracker crumbs, and it was unbelievable, how when they decided to start storing those away, how quick they got them out of there. Oh, esophagus cancer. Oh, that sucks. A smoker, I'm assuming. Yeah, I got a couple books. I just haven't read them yet. I mean, I don't think that I'd take them recreationally. One article I read, and they talked about like rape victims and survivals of incest and tragedy, and how they were able to let go of the intense emotions that kept them from working and pursuing decent careers. So that's what got my attention. Oh, okay. Yeah, but you can do it from your car, Green Thumb. You can do most of them from your car. Get a GoPro 9. Oh, okay, Penny. That's too bad. How old was he? 67. Okay. Oh, I do. I stay away from all that. You ever see that stuff that the railroad shoots on each side of the track when they go down there in the spring? Read the label on that. Oh, okay, Penny. I got a buddy of mine that retired. I don't hang around with him much, but I've known him for like 35 years. He retired from Delta. He's got every flying rating you could think of. He flew a 747 to Beijing and back at the end. Flight instructor, helicopter, all that. I've known him forever. And back last fall, they had a deal where they were going to do a commemorative deal with some kind of World War II airplanes. And the service was going to be in Hawaii someplace. So these retired airline pilots and these guys that still work there were about 25 of them that went out there. Part of the deal was being on an aircraft carrier for some kind of speech, or I don't really know all the details, but anyway, bottom line, half of them died. And it went from 40 all the way to 83. Half of those guys died from getting COVID on that trip. No kidding. And these were healthy guys. Hey, Nick. Yeah, true, Penny. Yep. Oh, okay, Green Thumb. Yeah, but you'd be surprised. I'm guilty of this too. There have been times when I'll get stuck somewhere, my maintenance on my vehicle, I can't go anywhere. And I guarantee you've got a year's worth of stuff that people would find interesting right outside your doorstep. Whether it's weather or insects or birds or interviewing interesting people or time lapse of clouds, traffic. You don't need to go anywhere. Yeah, nice tribute. Good. Good deal. Well, thank you, Shannon. That's going to be hard to do. Yeah, compost. I run into so many people that claim to be environmentally conscious, and they say they're going to get cremated. If you're concerned about a carbon footprint, getting cremated is one of the worst things you can do. It's a huge carbon footprint. You have to heat bone up to about 2,300 degrees to incinerate it. And it's just not what people are thinking. Yeah, you can do it, Green Thumb. A lot of things. Birds. Yeah. Oh, really? Cremation? Yeah, not me. I don't care what they do with me. I hope I just like die doing a video somewhere where they never find me. Yeah. Yep. It's you guys are going to be leaving a big carbon footprint. AYKG, don't start talking about the Holocaust and it wasn't possible. I'm not gonna entertain that kind of craziness on here. I kind of suspected you were gonna be start talking about something weird. Sure as shit. Oh, that's cool, Dr. Green Thumb. Oh, really, Acton? I never heard of that. No, I do think there was some misinformation in the Holocaust, and it is a terrible thing that I'm sure happened. But there were a lot of people that were killed other than Jews, and that's my only beef. You ask a lot of people about the Holocaust, and they think it was only Jewish people, and that's absolutely false. Yeah, there was the last lady up here that was in a war camp, just died here about 5 years ago. Liddy Weinberg. Oh, seriously, Green Thumb, interesting. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who it was. It shouldn't have happened, and it's obviously an example of a crazy man. It's just that that part's not mentioned very often. Russia still does that with homosexuals. Oh, Lithuania. Well, right next door. Yeah, I believe that. Yep. What's in what action? Acton? Yeah. Yep. In one way or the other. Absolutely right. You remember when they had the Olympics a couple 8 years ago? Putin didn't want any gays there at all. He made a public statement. And if you give HIV, they don't give you any treatment. They just let you die. Yeah, they're crazy. I'm sure you can find plenty of information on it if you Google around how they treat homosexuality. Yes. Yep. Yeah, terrible. Putin's an evil guy. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. I mean, look at the stuff that Saddam Hussein did. He gassed 10,000 Kurds just to prove a point. Seriously. He killed 10,000 Kurds just to prove a point. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, it happens to me, Penny. I was reading, just kind of thumbing through a book I have on Gaddafi that I haven't started reading, but sometimes you're curious and you just thumb through the pages. And in that book, they were talking about when Reagan first got into office and how that if you took longer than, now this is a book about Gaddafi, and this, not Reagan, but it was interesting because they said that if you took longer than 5 minutes trying to explain anything to Ronald Reagan, he couldn't comprehend it. And this was way before he was diagnosed with dementia. Yeah, Penny, I mean, if you look at the studies on alcohol and sleep, they're not very good. What happens is you'll take a shot of it and you'll get sleepy and you will fall asleep quicker than you would have had you not taken the shot. But alcohol, even the slightest amount of it, affects your deep sleep, your REM, your restorative sleep. That's part of the reason if you tie one on, the next day you're blaming everything on just drinking too much. A lot of it has to do with you didn't get sufficient REM. You'd be better off drinking a glass of milk and taking a couple of melatonin. I know a little bit about it, Acton. I can remember when we were kids, all of us had jars of it. We'd be like pushing it around in beads on the desk. I think mercury is a forever element, isn't it? Kind of like carbon footprints. There's some things that don't ever decay properly. Oh, okay. You can still buy jars of aluminum and mercury and have it mailed to you on eBay. I couldn't believe it. I'm pretty sure it'd be considered a hazardous chemical. And they don't even really want you shipping lithium batteries where it's going to be on an airplane. They want to ship that all on the ground. And yeah, that's why the GoPro takes so long to get sometimes, because of the batteries. It's all ground. Even after one, yeah. Even a tiny amount, yes. It's got nothing to do with getting tanked or buzzed but it tricks people because you seem more relaxed, which you are, and you do doze off quicker. You just don't get deep sleep like you would had you skipped the alcohol. I mean, that poor bastard Michael Jackson, he kind of got painted into a corner, and you can see how his sleep deprivation elevated, and he actually got a crazy cardiologist to go along with what he was doing. My guess would be that's why he exhibited some of his behavior. The poor bastard couldn't sleep, and that isn't any way to induce sleep. Just because your eyes are shut and you get up the next morning and 8 hours have gone by doesn't mean you were getting the right kind of sleep. And I think he just kind of went crazy. Oh, I believe that, Blue, yeah. Oh, interesting, actually. Yeah, sleep's very complex. There's a lot of good studies on it, and they're making progress. I think I've got a circadian rhythm disorder. I do. Penny, have you ever had a sleep study? I'm sure you have. Yeah. Yeah, there's probably some truth to that, Acton. Yeah. Hey, Indigo, how you doing? I don't feel too good. I don't feel very good. Yeah, sleep study. I don't know if you're overweight or not, but you don't need to be that. How about this? Do you snore in your sleep? There's an app that you can get for your cell phone that will, I'm not saying it's as good as a 2,800-hour sleep study, but it's pretty damn interesting where it keeps track of how many times you toss and turn, and it's better than nothing. No, everybody does not snore. And you can snore and not have sleep apnea is the point. But a lot of people don't snore. No. Nope. Yeah. Now, do you have insurance, Penny, or do you get Medicare yet? That's how I am, Blue. Yeah, beds. That's how they sell you on beds, just like they sell men on getting hair transplants. Like Sleep Number Bed and those outfits, they're experts at marketing because they've crunched the numbers and they know there's 10 million people out there just like you, and they sell you on it's your bed that's keeping you from getting a good night's sleep. I went through the same thing. Mattresses, sleep numbers. And there's also some pretty good genetic connections between poor sleep. Well, if you read the studies, that it's almost impossible to take too much melatonin. That's the good news. They've changed that. In the old days, you'd take 5 milligrams. That was even when I was at Cleveland Clinic the last time. There were people taking 50 milligrams. What I would suggest if you're going to try that, the only place I've seen it, and I'm sure you can get it someplace else, is the extended release. And I've seen it in Walgreens. Extended release melatonin. Just my opinion, when you've got a hardcore sleep disorder, I don't think melatonin's going to do it, but it's certainly worth trying. And another time too, this works. Believe it or not, you will notice it if you go to your grocery store. They've got some tea out there, herbal tea called Extra Sleepy Time. They've got regular sleepy time and extra sleepy time. I'm not kidding you, man. You put 2 bags of that in and sip on that, you'll be getting groggy eyed while you're still on the way to bed. Not kidding you. Yeah, get that extra sleepy time. If you can't find it, I'll send you a box. But I think it's all over. Yeah, I just got mine in January. I just got mine in January. Yeah, but I mean, Rob, I think sufficient. It's because it's an herbal supplement. Nobody really knows because you can't cite any medical studies on melatonin. And that's another thing about this herbal stuff. You don't know if you're getting a supercharged dose or a weak dose. That's the problem with those kind of supplements. I mean, regulation isn't perfect, but at least you know what you're getting when you get a prescription. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, a lot of protein in a brain. But I think it's time for you to go, Acton. Yeah, he's going to be talking to himself. He thinks my brain's poison. He ought to look at his. Yeah. Why don't you put your address up here, Blue? Yeah. He's probably watching Freddy Krueger movie for the 10,000th time. No, I don't feel too good, Backwoods. I don't feel too good. When I was living in Chicago, it was a 34-story building, and they had these peregrine falcons that they set up on these nesting programs, which really proved to be pretty successful. And I knew the maintenance guys. Bottom line, if you ever get access to the roof of places where they're trying to implement these breeding programs for these falcons, you'll find pigeons all over with the head missing. And the reason for that is because of the high protein in the brain. They're not interested in the breast and the wings and thighs. They want that big jolt of protein out of the brain. Yeah. Sorry for any technical difficulties, Acton. Please hit your refresh button, restart. Although, to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to help. Yeah, I think it's just a typical reaction. I was hoping I was going to avoid it, but it's one of the reasons why I drugged my feet on getting the shot because I felt like shit when I got the regular flu shot 4 years ago. Yeah, there you go. Cats had a late start. Dogs are so much more advanced on domestication. That's why you see the difference. Dogs got a huge head start on cats. There'll be a day when cats won't do that anymore. They're going to be just like domesticated dogs, but they still got a huge element of wild behavior. Yep. He was just being a cat. You guys would probably see it. I'm telling you, man, I know I brag about her all the time, but Daisy is just, I mean, she looks like a kind of dog you would expect Truman Capote to own. You know, I just kind of ended up with her through odd circumstances. But I'm telling you, man, this dog is so damn intelligent. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely crazy. And I practice it, but she never had any training. I just whisper things to her right now, barely whisper them, and she will do it. Yep, they are, Virginia. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're just being cats. I'm not a big cat fan, but I help them out if they need it. Hey, Rosie. I saw two possums tonight. Getting bit by a cat is most places an automatic 3-day hospital stay if it punctures the skin. Do you know that? Even if you were up to date on your shots. If you go to a emergency room or a family practitioner, a PA or something, and you've been bitten by a cat, even if it was vaccinated, and it punctured the skin, you're going to be in the hospital for 3 days. Yes. Yep. Now, there are people that are going to say, it's a bunch of bullshit. I got bit by a cat. Well, I'm sure that's happened, but yes, for sure. Yes. Which is about, if you went to the emergency room too, $25,000. I'll tell you another thing a lot of people don't know. Of course, you're probably not going to be in any condition to be able to dispute this, but helicopter rides, helivacs, the helicopters that pick people up, doesn't have to be a car accident. It can be a bunch of things. You almost drowned, you were in a house fire, you got beat up. Every single time, no matter how good of insurance you have, that's considered out of network. If you get a ride from where I live to Ann Arbor, it's $100,000. And they will lien your house and they will pursue you until they get every penny. Medevac companies, yeah, I see they have the name of the hospital on the side of the helicopter, but those are third-party corporations. Most of them are owned by hedge funds, which are looking for the maximum profit they can eke out of anything. So they've got stockholders up their ass. and they're not forgiving any bills if they don't have to. So if you can somehow eke out to the to the helicopter pilot, I don't want to do this, but like I said, usually by the time they're called, you're not in any position to argue it. And at the time, in the circumstances, you've been, if you're conscious, you've been seriously injured, and you're thinking, God damn, this is the deal between life and death. I don't know. I don't care how much it costs. If you look at studies, and they're all over the place, if you're within 90 minutes of a trauma center, it's just as good as the helicopters. Now, what they try to do to rebut this is say that they have more experienced staff and better equipment on the helicopter. Not always. They will bullshit you blind in why the bill is what it is. And if you know anything about helicopters, I mean, I think it's a fair bill. All things considered, it's probably what it costs to make a profit. Helicopters are crazy expensive. You got the pilot, you got the nurse, all this maintenance, all this bullshit. Their insurance is crazy. It's just, I don't want it happening to me. I don't. And you think, well, I'll just claim bankruptcy. It doesn't work that way. For you to claim bankruptcy, you've got to be really bankrupt. So when a federal judge sees that you own a house and you have equity and you're working and you have a savings account, you're not getting that debt discharged because you have an ability to pay. So even though it seemed like a good idea when you thought it was between life and death, when you get that $100,000 payment book, it's not going to be fun. I feel sick, Conan. Insanely expensive. Yep. They do save a lot of lives, but they also take a lot of people to the hospital when an ambulance would have done just as good. Again, there's studies out there that prove this. And usually, if someone knows what they're doing, they do some pretty good due diligence. I know two people that have challenged it, and I know how they did it, and they got the bills dropped. But you got to know your stuff, or you have to hire an attorney. And there's going to be no contingency because you're trying to get out of a $100,000 bill. So it isn't like a personal injury case where there's going to be a $200,000 settlement. So you're going to dole out some heavy cash even if you're successful, unless you know how to do it yourself. And there are arguments and ways to do that. That's why if you hear of somebody that has beat one of these crazy hospital bills, they got good attorneys. They seal the records so it isn't available for a public search. So when you go down there to figure out how Johnny, and that's part of the agreement on the settlement, that you keep your mouth shut and that you don't go out there and tell anybody that they decided to let it go. Well, I appreciate it, but you're talking about, brains and poison and stuff. Yeah, really expensive. Okay, that's fine. Good. I'm glad we worked it out. I mean, I don't enjoy blocking people, and I'd rather get along with everybody. It just is hard to do sometimes. I mean, I don't think it's any, badge of honor that you can come on here and chat, or it's a big deal. But it just wrecks a chat when you start talking crazy like that. People start being quiet and they don't want to converse with you, and it may not seem apparent at the time, but I've been around long enough to spot what takes a fun, interesting dialogue and throws it in the trash can. Yeah, I think I'll be better tomorrow. Yeah. Yep. That's the thing, though, YKG. You knew the rules before you posted that, and you did it anyway. I mean, I'm willing to give you another bite at the apple, but that's it. Private channel with public access. I don't even want any dialogue. I think it's insulting to the medical professionals that are on the chat. I'm the wrong channel to come over and talk about how COVID's population control, that everybody's going to die, that it's poison. Don't want to hear this. If you don't want to get the shot, you don't have to. But don't come over here and start talking to me about all the bad things about getting a COVID shot. Don't want to listen to it. That's it, Conan. I'm going to try that. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. I did eat half of a watermelon. I just started on this Wellbutrin. Probably not a good day to. I started on it yesterday. So probably, not good judgment on my point. But when you're chronically depressed and you start to get in a really bad place, you get desperate. You don't want to wait another day, even if it's going to make you sicker because you got a COVID shot scheduled. Yeah, let me tell you though, Rosie, that's a very thin gauge needle. If you turn your head away and you were in a disco club with the music loud, you wouldn't even know they stuck you. It's not like you're thinking. It's not. You wouldn't even feel it. Oh, okay, yeah, fine. We'll move on then. Thank you. This just happened with Bobbles the other night. We hadn't been getting along, and it's like everything. You get hurt, and then you get mad, and then it's all downhill. It's not logical, but everything, in my opinion, in life is emotional. You, because if it wasn't, all the smartest people in the world would be the happiest and the most successful. But their emotions get in the way. Greed, adultery, coveting, drugs. There are books on emotional IQ that I've perused through that I think are a lot of horseshit. But there's not necessarily a relationship between IQ and emotion. All you got to do is watch these crime shows on TV. Neurosurgeons, orthopedic surgeons, guys that own huge companies going away for 50 years because they chopped their wife up into little pieces because they were banging some high school dropout with a killer body that worked as a janitorial service. Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks. All right, thanks. Yeah, I don't watch them as much as I used to. I mean, to me, it's like, I want to do this internet radio show in the fall. And every time I spend some time on trying to research it, what I'd like, there's something really wrong with it. I don't want to play non-copyrighted music as a lead in or a lead out. I mean, there's some good music out there. I don't like podcasts. To me, for the life of me, I can't believe that anybody watches any of these lives later on. That's why I never had a DVR. If I can't catch it then, I don't want to watch a rerun. I know things are shown again, like I bet I've seen every forensic file 10 times, but that's different. That's okay. And it's like another thing, you'll try and get in discussions with people sometime. I'll give you an example, the death penalty. We could talk about this for 6 months, but when somebody says to me, just like COVID, that I don't believe in the death penalty, just think how much money we'd save if we just killed everybody. This conversation is over. I'm not talking to them about it. And, you have to separate yourself from the crime and having a moral conscience. I've mentioned this before, the Chris Hansen deal. Look, pedophiles, terrible. But should Chris Hansen be tagging around with police officers and having third-party companies set up the surveillance camera and then going to their house as they're getting set up and arrested? I say no. Does it make me sympathize with pedophiles? Absolutely not. But you are entitled to due process. And that's the big argument with the first 48. I really liked that at the beginning. And then, as more time went on, the people that they're nailing to the wall don't have resources. And I hate to say this, but their rights are getting trampled. How many white Jewish guys have you seen in those rooms? None. It isn't because they haven't committed some crime someplace. It's because they have a bunch of resources. They knew enough to keep their mouth shut. and they weren't able to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Nothing wrong with that. The state has to prove their case. And when that's taken away from you through hoodwinking and a pea in a shell game, it's a huge fault to the system. Oh, do you, Blue? Yeah, I just don't agree with it, man. The legal system has its flaws. All you got to do is watch the Casey Anthony trial or the OJ trial. You know, just because you don't get the result you like doesn't mean it's flawed. But those are pretty good, stellar examples of this is not right. That's all right, Conan. That's what I say. I mean, I've been looking around like, change a plan B. I mean, I do need a change in something, but I don't know what it would be. But I like this electrode in my head, and I put it on the screen. Is this thing stuck? Yeah, I think it looks different because they're against a black background, which I never do. I've done that so many times, Penny. I bet I've taken 25 10,000-mile road trips that I didn't even count a vacation. Moved, lived in high rises, bought farms, tried the sunny weather in the winter. Well, I think a lot of what happens with a lot of these crime shows is, you know how it is. It's like sometimes you have the inside track on how something happened, and you can pitch it to the viewer because you know everything that went out behind the scenes. I'll give you an example. That Netflix did that segment on that guy that killed that girl that worked for Auto Trader and chopped her up and put her into the barrel. Now, they knew all this, but if you watch the show, it kind of makes it look like this guy's getting a raw deal, his rights are trampled over. Well, they'll say it's entertainment. It isn't a court trial, which I would agree with. It's kind of like Judge Judy. But I really got turned off by that when I found out that, and that wasn't mentioned in the show, that they found her DNA and bone fragments in the bottom of his burn barrel. But they didn't include it because it would have killed the whole show. And as it turns out, it was very popular, very successful. Bunch of dummies out there that think he was innocent. And that's because they don't know what they found that wasn't included. It's just, and that's how you can set up like the psychic thing. Maybe it's true. I don't know. All I can tell you is you can't show me any documented, reliable studies with psychics. It's worth a try. But if that was the case, why doesn't every state have one that law enforcement can rely on? Why aren't they winning the lottery? I don't buy it. Yeah, do you have a fan on most of the time, Blue? Yep, Steve Avery. Yep, that's exactly right. If I'd have known at the very beginning of that there were bone fragments of that girl in the barrel, I would have quit watching it. But it was a perfect show to set up like that when you withheld that kind of evidence. And they said it's not a documentary. This is entertainment. And they're exactly right. It doesn't need to be accurate, and it wasn't. But they got, who knows how many more viewers because you didn't know that than they would have if they'd have told the truth. That story would have been dead in the water without that omission. Not cool. Yeah. Oh, okay, Blue. There's so much stuff like this out there. You do your research. You know, it's like seasonal affective disorder. Vitamin D. I guarantee you go down to Florida right now and you'd be shocked at the people with low vitamin D that are out on the beach all damn day long, all year long, that have low vitamin D. There goes that study. The same thing applies with serotonin. I never did watch Tiger King, no. Hey, Linda. I didn't watch The Son of Sam either. You know, they nailed him with a parking ticket. Got him with a parking ticket. That's how so much stuff is done. I was just talking to a guy today when Daisy was swimming that got a drunk driving ticket because he was rear-ended by somebody sober. Happens all the time. Guy robs a bank. He's evaded the cops. He's rolled upside down 3 times. All the rubber's off the wheel, and he's just on the verge of making a turn and pulling into a garage when nobody sees him. And a cop sees someone with a burnout taillight. Look at Watergate. It wasn't the FBI, the CIA, national security. It was a security guard that made that whole hard house of cards collapse. Richard Nixon had to resign because of a security guard. Look at the Monica Lewinsky deal. I never did. You know, I can't sit still long enough to watch things like that. You know, I gotta be like moving. And I'll tell you, when I take a Claritin D, I take now Wellbutrin in the morning because I want to be able to sleep. I'll tell you another thing you guys want to watch out for if you have sleep issues. Don't get anything extended release, nothing. And if you have to once in a while, like I do, with Claritin D, which is 12 hours, believe me, if I sleep late or I was up late and I don't get up till noon, I don't take it that day. Extended release anything can get you in huge trouble with regard to your sleep. So now, in the morning I get up, I got my Claritin D, my Wellbutrin, and I drink my 2 or 3 shot caramel latte skim milk in the morning. So for about 5 hours, it's like you couldn't recognize my signature. I'm all jacked up, I'm jittery, but it feels good. Yeah. And another thing, too. You don't need to believe me, man. I don't know shit. I know this. You're getting what you paid for. Generic medications. I could talk to you about it forever. If you don't believe it, I can cite some studies, particularly with over-the-counter medication. An example is anything. Benadryl, Claritin, all these over-the-counter medications. Do not go cheap on those. I know, I get it. You go in there and all of a sudden, you know, Claritin D is like $40 and Walgreens D is $14. Sometimes it's made by the same company. Most times it's not. Basically, it comes down to quality control. No, they're not, Rosie. No, they're not. Plants are not better medication. It's absolutely false. They are not. You can put some aloe on your poison ivy, and you can take a couple St. John's wort and not bash your husband's head in while he's sleeping with a baseball bat. And there are medications that are plant derived. I'll give you an example. Digoxin for heart cases. It's a plant. But when you look at medicine, the reason that people live longer now than they ever had is because of pharmaceutical medicine. It isn't because of plants. No way, no how. Show me one example of a holistic doctor that saves someone from COVID. You can't do it. Yeah, but JMO, it affects your deep sleep. Exactly. Bingo. Dollar store vitamins. That's exactly right. Bingo. Yeah, I mean, Plants, there are some beneficial plants, I agree, but by and large, you can't compare. There's a reason that you can get as much as you want of a plant off Amazon, and that Humera and Embro cost you $6,800 a month. And you look at some of the protea inhibitors that treat HIV, about $12,000 a month, and I promise you those aren't from plants. Some did derive from plants. Most did not. Most did not. Yeah, that's pretty fixable, Conan. Sleep apnea. They've come a long way with that. If you get a good machine, don't go cheap on a sleep apnea breathing machine. Get the creme de la creme, the quiet one, the one you don't need to fill up in the middle of the night, and soft hose and rubber that doesn't smell. There are CPAPs out there, and the thing that you breathe through, the mask, you won't even know you had it on. It's like apples and oranges. There's all sorts of people around now that are alive that feel good because of CPAP and BiPAPs. 100% convinced of it. And one other thing, too, you can have problems like that. And if you just lose like 10 pounds, your sleep apnea may go away. What, do you know which one you have? Was it which diagnosis you had? Which kind of sleep apnea? If it's obstructive sleep apnea, sometimes that requires surgery. But if it isn't, weight loss, you can't believe how much it does wonders. That little extra ounce and a half of fat under your chin, like mine, flops down on there and causes just myriads of trouble. Good night, Rosie. Well, it depends which ones, JMO. Depends which ones. I'll tell you another thing that's surprising. You get a cut, and they want you to put Vaseline on it. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out, well, why would you use a petroleum product for a medicinal use? This doesn't make, you know why? It has no medicinal use, really, except that it seals the wound. It's not like Neosporin or hydrogen peroxide or any of that. It seals the wound, which makes sense. You take a dab of petroleum jelly and you put it over your cut, and it seals it better than a Band-Aid ever could. That's why. People claim honey, honey does this, honey does that. It's true. You know why? Honey has 3% hydrogen peroxide in it. That's why. You could have got it out of a pop bottle if that was the chemical. Everybody thinks like honey, natural, this, that. This honey, that's why. The same hydrogen peroxide that came out of that honey is the same one that you buy in the bottle at Walgreens that was made at a plant someplace in Texas. Zero difference. Allergies are tough. Germs. That's exactly what it is, bacteria. Honey can do that. Yeah, honey can do it. It's not as good as petroleum generally to seal the wound, but it's that hydrogen peroxide. There are different schools of thought on that too. Hydrogen peroxide actually kills healthy tissue, so it all depends on the application. I was actually interested in getting into leeches and maggots for burn patients, and I know this sounds nuts, but I just didn't like the idea of having to dispose of them after they'd done that for mankind. That you have to kill them after they've debrided this infection and burns and surgeries that didn't heal, what have you. And I just couldn't get myself to do that. I'm not going to take something from Mother Nature, possibly saves a human's life, and now I'm going to end their life because of it. Can't do it. Yeah. No, I just couldn't do it. I'll tell you another one that'll get you into big trouble. And this is becoming more of a problem. And Penny, you know about this. You wait and see how much you get charged for a snake bite. Penny, did you get your bill yet for your spider bite? Try a snake bite. Yeah, they're gross, but if you look at them, they're a medical marvel. The way they've evolved, what they can do. When they're saving your life when traditional medicine couldn't, and a staph infection was out of control. See, you wouldn't think that way of maggots. If they kept you from getting your leg amputated, you'd look at them in a completely different way. It's just like pigs. Pigs, first of all, they're smarter than dogs, and secondly, they only appear dirty because of the environment that human beings put them in. Pigs are not inherently dirty. It's where mankind sets them up. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Did you get your bill for that yet, Penny, or spider bite? Oh, good. Good. Wow. Now, Penny, where that spider bit you, how much tissue damage did you have? How much tissue damage and nerve damage? Is it a noticeable spot? Happy Father Days to you, Jeff. Yeah, me either, Blue, but I'm telling you, it's like anything, right? I think you'd look at them differently. Yeah. Really, that's interesting. A non-poisonous spider bite. I never heard of that. Why? Huh. Good night, Jeff. Order that lens. Hey, where you guys live, is it back to normal yet, or is it still like places closing early and it was like 30 years ago and no 24 hours, that kind of thing? What's going on in your neighborhood? No, that's the thing. Believe it or not, you're not going to believe this either. But if you'll ask most people, you show a baby rattlesnake and you show a big rattlesnake, and you say, which one would you rather get bit from? And almost everyone says, the little one. Wrong. And I'll tell you why. The little one is immature and can't control his venom like the big one can. The big one has evolved and knows not to shoot his whole wad on one bite. The little one doesn't. And it's kind of like kidneys and bladders in young, small dogs. They're not fully developed for a couple years, which is why they're peeing all the time. Even though they seem smart, they can't help it. Same condition with young, venomous snakes. When you get bit by a young one, he shoots his whole wad. No, nope, not into guns. Nope. I mean, I'm not against them or anything, but uh, I'm just not into them. Yeah, it was funny today. I noticed now I was out running around people with masks. Now the deal is supposed to be on that you're supposed to have a mask on if you're not vaccinated. But of course, you never know, right? Now I got vaccinated. Uh, Although, to be honest with you, I don't know if I'll do this or not. But if you talk to doctors in your local town, you ask them about last fall and last winter, about colds and flu. It was way down. The numbers were way in the tank. Why? Because they were wearing masks because of COVID. So, I'm getting older now, and I'm starting to think that even though I've got the shot doesn't keep you from getting COVID. It keeps you from dying and getting hospitalized and getting a $900,000 bill. But now that I've got the shot, I think in the wintertime, I think I'm going to wear a mask when I go into places like Walmart. I'm going to. Why the hell not? Because, you know, it can just save you from the cold and the flu unrelated to COVID. I got the J&J. Well, you know how it is. You have to legislate behavior with people. If there weren't so many stupid people out there, this COVID would have never had the grip it did on basically the whole world. You do what they tell you. The big number one thing was, and this, and I've read a ton of stuff on this. I'm 100% convinced, was the indoor dining of groups of people, for sure. So when they locked this place down, even though I didn't vote for our governor, I think it may cost her a re-election. And if you look at her grades by her peers, she had huge balls to shut this shit down. Now, I'm sure I'd have a much different opinion of her if I owned a restaurant. But looking at it as objectively as I can from the outside, I give her A+. And here's another thing. I don't know if you guys do like what I do, chats. And if I didn't do these chats on a cell phone, I would say, what's the big deal? It's not like I'm sneezing in people's face. Now, if you look at the physics behind a sneeze, you know, it's like up there with an F5 tornado, 220 miles an hour. The droplets go 60 feet. You're thinking, bullshit. You know, I put my hand over my mouth. That's a bunch of bullshit. It's not. When I get done with this live and look at my phone, even though I don't see any visible moisture, that screen is going to have so many water droplets over it, you're hardly going to be able to see through it. I'm not kidding you. In an hour or longer live on a cell phone, and when I go to wipe it off, I'm going to need to do it twice because there's so much stuff on that glass, one cleaning won't do it. And that's what was getting people in public places. Microscopic water droplets. Another one that people get faked on. People say sexually transmitted diseases, okay? They'll say visible blood, you know, HIV, gay sex, this kind of stuff. And these people actually think they're safe because there was never any visible blood. Yeah, we got drunk. We shouldn't have do that. That's not what they're talking about. It's not like a nosebleed. They're talking about microscopic blood that you can only see with a microscope. That's what they're talking about, the blood-to-blood transfer. But when you talk to people about it, they're thinking because, you know, there isn't an ounce of blood running down your leg that they're okay. Wrong. Not true. Even with intercourse, male and female, that is a violent act on the body, even if both people are doing the right thing. Abrasions, microscopic blood transfer. Yeah. And I don't want to harp on this a lot, but anal sex, big deal, big, totally different. That's why if you look at transmissions from heterosexual couples and you look at transmissions from gays, that's why. It's, you know what I'm getting at, but the point here is, and I'm not arguing it from a religious standpoint, that to me, as far as I can tell, wasn't made for that kind of use, which is why there's a disproportionate amount of blood in heterosexual sex compared to heterosexual sex. That is how we evolved. I'm not saying one behavior is better than the other. I'm just telling you, when this first came out, they were dropping like flies. That's why. Microscopic blood. No, big time. Sure does. Yeah, I was surprised myself. Yeah, me too. I was too. But when you think about this, and you realize this, Blue, through who knows how, reading or you've done what I've done on my phone, and you're taking a restaurant that's open 12 to 14 hours a day, and there's 16 people at a birthday party all over your state or whatever kind of gathering it is. You got the waitress coming up, going back, talking to the cook. And yeah, I mean, that's what did it. Yeah, it does. Now, I do think there's a little bit difference with the barbers and the people doing women's hair. You put a mask on, they both have masks on. That's different because you got masked on. Well, and, you know, when you go to a restaurant, sooner or later you got to drink or eat. And that's when the problems begin, for sure. The hydrochloric acid takes care of it. orally. Now, the more studies that come out, you're not getting it off a doorknob or a toilet seat or a ATM button. It's not happening. Your digestive system is a hell of a defense mechanism. Your eyes, your lungs, and your nose and your mouth open is not. Yeah, I mean, I mean, like all these things, when you look at a study, right, there's a reason for it. We just don't know what it is yet. I was just got a article sent to me on how wrong Darwin was with natural selection. And they did all these studies about lions killing buffaloes, and they killed 7 times more males than they killed females, even though the females were easy to get. Things like this. So until this is researched, but there's a reason for that in Texas. We just don't know it yet. Oh, sorry for that, Penny. That's why, so you can appreciate, Penny, when we're on here having a nice conversation, we're trying to learn new things. And we've got Mary on here, and we've got Faye, who's a retired nurse. And for you, someone's coming on here telling us how full shit we are and we're poisoning ourselves. I don't want to hear it. It's nonsense. The graveyard's filled with people around there that died from COVID and everywhere else. And you can't argue it politically because it's happened worldwide. You know how on the chat here, there'll be 50 people on here, and it doesn't matter where they're from. Everybody knows of people that died from COVID. For sure. Yeah, I just think it's insulting when you've got, well, to anybody really, but particularly a medical professional. They're on here battling, risking their damn lives 16 hours a day, like Mary, vaccinating people. And they're telling her in so many ways that you don't know what the hell you're doing, and why are you poisoning these people? Not listening to it, not happening. You know, if you like decaf and I like regular, we can talk about that. If you have an argument for the death penalty, and I think it's a good idea, we can talk about that. But I don't want to entertain any conversation about COVID being a hoax and that the medication is not proven. It's absolute nonsense. I probably could do a better job at soft selling it. It's just not my personality. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing with the cell phones, the 5G. Yep. I try to control myself. I do. I wish I could, like, I'll tell you, Mary is really good at this. I try to control myself. I should be, like, nicer and say, well, you know, like earlier tonight, she said plants are better than medicine. But it's a flaw in my personality. Got to believe what she believes. Yep. Sure is, yeah. It's crazy. Even like with baubles. You know, we don't agree on practically anything. But we were able to come to an agreement to disagree and not be enemies. And I love it. Yeah, it's true. Yep. No, the variants are different, JMO. You're exactly right. Depends on which one you got. That's so true. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get. I doubt you'd want the Johnson and Johnson if you lived in Pakistan. Yeah, it's crazy. Crapshoot sure is. Yeah, yep. And you know, look, everybody got caught with their pants down on this. I mean, this was a shocker everywhere. It was kind of like when computer hacking started. The FBI was, you know, recruiting kids from high schools that knew more about computers and software than they did. They were desperate. These people are like stealing this stuff, hacking the FBI's website. Uh, and, that's much different now. Not to say that, hacks don't occur, but, you ramp up and it takes a while. I mean, this COVID thing was like, a world-class major threat. Yeah, it's true. It's true. No, they aren't frisky. They're not. They're not. I mean, to me, just my opinion, you'd have to be crazy to go over to India or Pakistan now. They've got this mutant, morphed COVID strain that's just killing people deader than a doornail. My buddy's medical partner is a doctor. I've mentioned before, his wife's got MS. She's a doctor too. They've lost 13 relatives over there. A lot of this is extended families. They've lost 13 relatives that are in, like 5 of them are in the medical profession that did the right thing and died. That's scary. Yeah. Yeah, very. But, that's the nature of a virus. I don't know if you've done much reading on viruses, but boy, it's super fascinating. It really is. How it tricks the body. Oh, Delta strain. Okay. Yep. Yeah, thank you. I don't know any of them, but yeah, this is what I was told. It's crazy. Like I say all the time, the only good thing that's come out of this whole thing is I don't worry about my herpes and my syphilis as much. I'll tell you, herpes is interesting too. Where it lies dormant in the C5 and just kind of hangs around. It's interesting. Yeah. And you know how it is. It's like for the grace of God go I. That's no shit. If you've had sex in your life, whether you've had it 1 time or 1,000 times, like anything else, there's always an element of luck. There's all sorts of things that are carried where people are asymptomatic. So it isn't like their top lip is shining bright red and you still decide to go out and make out in the park for 2 hours. It's not like that. And there's an element of luck. Yeah, that's true. Overly paranoid. And you're right, JMO. It's true. That's why I'm constantly referring to shit luck. My YouTube channel, shit luck. Absolutely, man. You could offer me $100 million to go out and do this again. Yeah, I may start a channel, but nobody's going to ever end up watching it. It couldn't have happened again in a million years. And it isn't because of great content or I'm some super duper interviewer or girls want to get a look at me because I'm so good looking. It's none of that. I got lucky. A video took off. It got canned into their programming. And then once you get one viral, you're home free. Even when I don't do anything for months, I still get 4,000 subscribers and I don't do a damn thing. I mean, I know how it works and I know how it frustrates people. They see this crazy Tom Reed. He's always talking about sex. He's weird. He hasn't lived with his wife. How does this lunatic get these? I'll tell you how. I got lucky, which is why I don't take credit for anything that I've done. And I haven't really done much. Smoke big time? Me? Yeah, online interaction. It's pretty cool though. I like it. I mean, I would never socialize with people. You'll never run into me anywhere. And even though I had not a fun time the last month, I've had like probably 20 of these stalkers in the last 5 years. And I'm totally cutting myself off from, unless I know you already, we're not exchanging emails, texts, nothing. I don't want any gifts, any money, nothing. I am completely cut off from the new YouTube interactions. I don't want to know anybody. That's the only way I can guarantee this won't happen again. Oh, not smoke. You know, Sammy, thousands of uploads did not help. They did not. Not really. No, it's not true. You know, once you get on YouTube and you figure things out, you know what's what and you know how these things happen. That's not true. I'll bet 99% of my videos, the views aren't worth shit. I wouldn't have enough money to buy lunch. Really. Here's a good rule of thumb on unless you get dinged because it's not suitable for most advertisers, which used to happen a lot more than it does now. Here's a good rule of thumb. Don't believe Social Blade or whatever. $3.25 per 1,000 views. And that's on as good as it's going to get. You know, you're making cookies, you're not using foul language. You don't have a picture of Adolf Hitler on your wall. It's just a clean, nice video, and you can go on there. $3.25 per 1,000 views. So when somebody goes on there, particularly if they don't like me, and they see a 3-second video of a hot dog, and it's like, look, this son of a bitch is killing it, just taking pictures of muffins and his dog swimming. I'm not. It's nothing. It's chump change. It's chump change. It's $1.50 for 500 views, even if I got them within an hour of when I uploaded. You got to have like crazy numbers. Yeah. You got to have crazy numbers. I could go back and do the exact same thing, and I had like 50 subscribers forever. I got lucky. Hey, 4Q, how you doing? Like I tell, shit luck. If I ever win the Powerball and I get a big boat, that's going to be the name that's painted on the back. It trumps everything. IQ, money, looks, even fate. Shit luck. Some people go through and the first time they play musical chairs, there's no chair. And if you're lucky and the music stops, and there's some people their whole damn life there's a chair when the music quits playing. It is bullshit. Yeah, it's nonsense. No, the age of the video does not matter. Nope. A lot of my ones that got tons of views, they said that you're not suitable for advertisers. So that's even less, like 50 cents a thousand or something like that. It isn't as bad as it used to be. And that's why there's more accounting. I'll give you an example. These problems that I've had and these phone calls that I've uploaded, which, you can have a different opinion on that, but my opinion is they saved my ass, and in a big way. If you listen to those, there wasn't anything edited out of any of them with the exception of one, and that's because of a relationship I had with a public official who I avoid like the plague, and I just didn't think it was fair to have her name tossed up there, unrelated to why I uploaded the calls to begin with. But that's the only time I've ever edited anything. So on all those uploads for those phone calls, I demonetized them. I don't want any money for them. I don't want, and in a way, I kind of don't blame YouTube. If you've got a Bible camp or, a new pen holder, whatever the hell it is, when they pay for digital advertising, I don't blame YouTube for being sensitive to send digital advertising to my video where you're listening to some stalker that you've never met in your life. You don't know what's really going on. And you're thinking, why am I paying for this shit? I just went to this Chosen Ones, and it's just somebody talking crazy. I don't even know what it's about. And they wouldn't, because they don't know the drama, and it wasn't explained in the description. So I checked no. Now you're going to say, well, I think you're full of shit, because when I listen to those, I see ads come up. You probably do, but believe me, they're not my ads, and they don't do me any good at all. YouTube mentioned not long ago that there's going to be ads on all videos, so I don't know what kind of deal they've struck with who. But I guarantee you, I'll take a snapshot of it if you want. All those phone calls, I have checked the demonetized box, because I don't want a customer of YouTube getting pissed. And I don't want YouTube getting a hold of me and saying, this isn't really outside the box, but this isn't exactly what we're looking for. So now you can't say anything because digital traffic isn't being headed to those videos. And that goes to show you how people like drama. Because when you get 2,000, so there's what, 850 if I was charging for it, I'd rather get nothing and not have to worry about it. And that's what I've done. But that goes to show you how drama sells, because those videos are not getting recommended, but people are finding them through this constant, never-ending bullshit that's out there. Good night, Indigo. Yeah. Thank you, Indigo. Yeah. It's crazy. No, the Michigan State Police, I'm going to have to sue them because they haven't provided the records that they're obligated to do under law. So I'm going to have to force them and get a judge's order. I paid for it. They can't cash the check. They just haven't sent any of it. I'm pretty sure it was that idiot in Prince Edward Island, but I'll find out. I will eventually get it, but they're making me jump through some hoops now. I'm going to try and see if I can talk the judge into some punitive damages, because this happened before COVID. Yeah. Oh, a dash of what? Craziness? Well, thank you. I mean, I hope they get something out of it. I don't know. I forget if it was Humira or Enbrel, and I put a video up one time of how to inject it painlessly, and you'd be surprised the emails I get sent to me are questions. It's crazy. I would just think this these medications have been out so long that somebody would have told them this, and it's nice to hear they said it helped them. Rotten birch, what is that? What is that? Yeah, that's why I kind of cringe. First of all, I don't ask for money anyway. But some people, I guess I don't know, they want to send me a few bucks. It's nice of them to do, but I wish they didn't. And Google takes 30% of that. And for a long time with the working girls, I was subsidizing it. If you said 100, I gave them 100. And I did that because I just didn't want to rain on somebody's parade, make them feel bad. I just sent, somebody $100, and why are you only giving them 70? So I just bit the bullet. And after all, I was getting YouTube money, so not that big a deal. Oh yeah, that was different. That was swatting. I don't know who did that. That could have been anybody. That could have been anybody. Hard to say. I got plenty of enemies out there, that's for sure. But they had a nice young girl at the desk that thought she was doing the right thing. So, there you go. Not that big a deal, but, they claim they would figure out who did it, which I doubt. You can't get them to do anything down there. Weather's nice here. 70. I think it's only like 55 out now. Yep. Yeah, she did. They bought my lunch. I mean, big deal. I also never went back there. Hang on one second. Yeah, what they did is they told the cops I was armed and dangerous and I was going to start shooting up the place. That's what happened. Hey, mechanic mama. That's what happened. No, weird. People are weird. Crazy. People, there's a certain personality out there that gets crazy when you cut them off, when you block them. Yeah. Yep. I can't figure it out. And if they don't like you, they think there's some sinister plot. Yeah, but the world's filled with them, Frisky. Look at the Unabomber. These guys, remember those two guys that were shooting people out of the trunk of a car? Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it. Yeah, it's so weird. Pussies are everywhere. Nah, who knows? Down there, you never know. You can't get them to do anything down there. There was just a video a couple weeks ago, where I would do interviews down there across from Telway Hamburger. It's a famous hamburger place on Michigan Avenue. People were breaking in while they were open and busy, and they called the cops and they never showed up. There's a YouTube video on it. Telway Hamburger, Telway Hamburger, robbery, west side of Detroit. That stuff's not uncommon out there at all. Yeah. Oh, really, Frisky, huh? Yeah, different personalities, yeah. You're right. I mean, you can imagine what the Secret Service has to go through when Trump was in office. I mean, look at when they broke into the Capitol. That almost seems like something you'd see in a made-up movie. And it just shows you the low IQ of some of these wackos. You got somebody going in there, tearing up Nancy Pelosi's podium and taking a selfie, and you'd think that's bad enough. It's like there's something really wrong with this guy. You know what the guy that got caught on that said after taking a selfie and uploading it to social media? He said that he couldn't figure out who ratted him out. So this is the mentality of these people out there. Hey, Tyler. Yeah. Takes a selfie, uploads it on a anarchist cookbook website, gets nailed, and he wants to know who ratted him out. No, I know. Oh, well, that's what I always say. It's like I tell people, it's like, God, but what would it cost? I'll go do a GoFundMe, and you get a vasectomy, and your wife gets a hysterectomy, because the worst, you'll do less damage to society if you never have children. That's so next time, like I'm always talking about, silver lining. Next time you're driving somewhere and you see a car on fire and it's on the side of the road and they're trying to put it out and you think, oh, that's a shame. That's people just going on vacation. God, I'm glad it wasn't me. It could have been two scumbags that did nothing but cause trouble, that lucky enough, their lives were ended and they'll never produce children just like them. Now, you don't know this for sure, but I'm just saying nothing is as it seems. Yeah, right, Blue. Yeah. Gene Pool. Yep. Total whack. I knew he was going to get canned. You know, when YouTube first started out, I mean, it was the Wild West. You could go on there and do whatever you want. Did you guys ever get a chance to watch Father Nathaniel? He was born Jewish, but he converted to some kind of Russian Orthodoxy bullshit. You can Google him, Father Nathaniel. And I was just shocked at how long it took Google to get rid of him. But they did. It's just a nut job. Crazy. But Frisky, even though San Francisco, I know what you're talking about, there's nothing like Florida. Nothing at all. As I've mentioned before, there was a show on TV, Faker Florida. You couldn't have summed it up better. You had to decide, is this fake or did it happen in Florida? Yeah. Yeah, and can you imagine just living next to a guy like that? You know, he's got a big giant Confederate flag hanging. That's the risk you have when you move into acreages, agriculture residential, when there's no covenants or deed restrictions or HOAs. That's the risk. Yep, big time. That's the risk. Now, it isn't necessarily what we're talking about, but it will, they sum it up perfectly. It didn't get good reviews, it didn't sell very well, but if you get a chance, you can get it on Netflix probably or wherever else you get movies. Florida Project. Watch the Florida Project. I mean, you got like guys like that were in No Country for Old Men. They're like that, living all over in Florida. Oh, okay, Tyler. Yeah, what'd you think of that, Frisky? How would you rate that? What'd you think of that? Hey, Frederick. Yeah, probably Frederick. Yep. Yeah, yeah, I thought so too. That was that girl's first acting job. All that stuff's force fed too. They can make you a horse's ass or a superstar. It all depends on who's promoting you and where. Same with music. K Rock out in LA. That's who determined where the hit songs, what the hit songs were going to be for years. That's kind of changed though with this digital platform. Yeah, wasn't that great, Frisky? Yeah. But that movie didn't do squat. But even with a little YouTube channel like I have, what I've realized in the last year is now I know why sports stars and movie stars and stuff, why they get a 2-minute soundbite of them not signing an autograph or not taking a picture. I get it now. Why they just run out of the, when the ninth inning's over, they just sprint back to the clubhouse, don't wave to anybody, get in their $300,000 sports car and get the hell out of there. I get it now. And I'm sure it's the same, only in a bigger degree. You know, you strike out, they want to murder your family. You make an error, they want to trade you. There's 15,000 people with signs saying you're a bum. It's the same shit. Yeah, I can change them. Yep, I can change them. Do that. This. It's not going to matter. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, I did. Yep. Yeah, it's just black now. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's exactly it, Frisky. Yeah. But I understand it now, even on my little small scale. Like Kathy Bates in Misery. Perfect example. And in her twisted mind is that character. She thought she was being kind to him. Hey, Frederick. Good night, Conan. Have a good day tomorrow. I think they're driving Penny nuts, Frisky. I'll put them on again for you tomorrow. How's that? Yeah, it's a good song. But now I know why. You know, you always think, God, if I ever got famous, you know, I'd sign all the autographs that people wanted. You know, I'd go to the hospital and I'd see sick kids. You know, you'd do that a couple times until you came out and your $300,000 sports car had about a half gallon of zip strip poured all over it because they've been stalking and following you and you failed to strike someone out 3 years ago. This is what it's come to. Oh, okay, Penny. All right, Conan. Thanks. Yeah, this is what it's come down to. Michael Jordan was like that where I lived. He belonged to the health club I did. And that guy, I would, you know, it was like that from when I did get to meet him later because I got to be friends with his trainer. I didn't care if I did or not, to be honest with you. But when he'd come in that gym and, you know, everybody wants to rub elbows with these guys. He'd walk right by you like a wild buffalo in Yellowstone, like a blank stare. He didn't want to have anything to do with chit-chatting. And I get it now. Not knowing anything, you think, well, this guy's kind of a dick. I mean, after all, it's fan support that got you here. But I get it now. No, I can't. But, you know, you don't, if you're just a person that never understood like this faux attention you get from like even something like YouTube, it wouldn't make sense to you. Yeah, I think so too, Frisky. Yep. And God forbid if you know, just think of if you were a superstar and you were single. It's not what it used to be. Yeah. I mean, I've seen these people. One time Dave Matthews was there touring around. They got busted dumping a whole 50-gallon container of poop and urine on a bunch of old ladies on a tour of the Chicago River when they were leaving town. They dumped their sewage. You can Google it. But anyway, he's down there working out, and there's a guy that's always with him, and all he does is basically say, you know, Mr. Matthews is working out, you know, here's our website, have a good day. Like, they don't get any peace. Hey, Joey. Yeah. Yeah, Google that, man. They got nailed on that. What a stupid thing to do. You'd like to think it was accidental, but it wasn't. And it wasn't Dave Matthews' fault. It was the guy, you know, driving for that bus thing. 50 pounds of poop and urine. Everybody was smiling, taking pictures till then. Seems like it, Frederick. I mean, Frederick, seriously, does it bother you being older now? If you could turn back the hands of time, would you want to be 40 again? That's it, JMO, yep. Oh, you better take care of him, Joey. No, the singer. Singer Dave Matthews. The guy from South Africa. Hey, Joey, call 911. Oh, good. Well, I'd call 911, Joey. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right, Penny. Joey, you need to get off YouTube. Go take care of him. Either you do it or we're going to do it. Oh, good. Well, good luck. Yeah, maybe not true, too. I mean, seriously. If it's one thing that crazy Tiffany taught me, it was to acknowledge and uphold and cherish a get real moment. And I would agree with her. She taught me something. So this is a get real moment. This is like nobody normal does this under these circumstances. So I know it sounds cruel because there's that 1% chance that this is real. But whether it is or whether it isn't, we have told him what to do. And I think this kind of dialogue ruins a chat. So Joey, okay, Frederick, yeah, me too. Yep. And it could be all like, I mean, this is something you expect a 6-year-old to do that got a hold of a cell phone. I mean, I hope it's not true. If it is, we've done our due diligence. We've instructed him what to do. And yeah. And I just don't want to continue this dialogue. I mean, their problems are becoming ours. Right, Sammy? Hey, Deanna, how you been doing? I mean, this sounds like a Sharon story or a stalker from Indiana. And it may be true too, which is why you hang on trying to decipher what's really going on. But the truth of the matter is, we'll never really know. Good, Deanna, how you been feeling? Right, JMO, yep. Joey, how about this? You call 911 and come back another day when this isn't happening. Right, Frisky. Yep. So that's the instructions, Joey. Call 911 and we gotta let you go here, okay? Get out of here, Carlos. Don't come back. Good luck to you, Joey. I don't think it's funny. Yeah, well, Joey made a difficult decision easy when he said laugh out loud. Oh, that happens, Little Miss. Yep. But Little Miss, just based on your name of your channel, you got to go too. You can go worry someplace else. Yep. No, Joey did me a big favor when he said laugh out loud. This thing's still working? Looks like this damn chanceman's getting stuck tonight. Hey, can you guys hear me? You guys hear me at all? Oh, okay, good. See what I mean? It's a chat killer. So you've got an emergency, you get on a YouTube channel and you start talking crazy. Yeah, I see you. Yep. I mean, yeah, here. Yeah, you're right, here. Well, yeah, believe me, I wish I didn't wasn't this good at it, but Joey met all the criteria, but the laugh out loud put the cherry on the top. Well, I think I'm going to sign off here, you guys. Right, Frisky, yep. What time do you go to bed usually, Frisky? Oh, okay. Do you knock out much reading? Do you do much reading? You too, 4Q. Sorry about that. Catch us another time. Yeah, I'm trying to drink right now. Thank you. I don't feel like I'm gonna drop dead, but I don't. I feel like I got the flu. Yeah, it's right here. It's 4 o'clock here, Deanna. Yep. I wish I could have fallen asleep sooner. Yeah, I did. I did that for 2 weeks straight, JMO. Oh, they will. You're right. This fan drowns them out, though. The birds chirping. Yeah, that's what they say. It means it's working. Yeah. Honestly, I think I had that damn COVID about a year ago. I'll never know for sure. Everybody says that, right? But man, I felt like shit for about a week. I thought, man, am I getting some organ failure or something? Actually, it was, yeah. Thank you, Penny. I love your picture. Yeah, I'm going to drink some water. I don't feel like it. Oh, okay, Frisky. I think I did, man. I'm serious, man. For about a week, I thought, is somebody trying to poison me? That's another thing, too. Anybody sends me any treats for Daisy, they're going in the trash. Thank you, and I'm sure there are people out there that like Daisy and want to send her a treat, but I just can't take that kind of risk anymore. Yeah, it's not worth it. It's like tonight with those big dogs. It's not happening. All of a sudden, Daisy's torn in two, and they never did that before. Yeah, I'm not giving you that opportunity. Oh, okay, Deanna. Well, good for you. So you got the Moderna, right? No, it was never tested. No, no, it wasn't. Back then, it was like still kind of like, you couldn't even like go to get a test easy. It's just, you just hoped it went away. But I mean, I felt like, man, am I dying? I mean, it was that kind of feeling. No, but I was at a place today where there were two big dogs running around. And I never take the chance at Daisy on the ground with other dogs, that big dogs. Not happening. I pick her up right away. Or now I bet you, and I don't know this for sure, maybe nothing would have happened. But they would have planned on coming up on top of that observation deck, and I would have happily agreed to come down when they took their dogs away, and they could go up there too. I wasn't trying to hog the whole thing. But anybody with a big dog and Daisy, I'm not letting you get around her. No, I don't. Nope. Yeah, she could. I mean, she can protect herself. Daisy's a tough dog. I mean, she can hang off a towel if she wants. But here's the thing, too. You know how it is. It's like you talk to parents, their kids, remind you of Pee Wee Herman, but if anybody messes with him, he's going to turn him into a quadriplegic. This folklore horse shit that gets out there. And people do that with their dogs. I mean, Daisy's for her size, I think she's a tough dog. But if a coyote got a hold of her, they're experts at killing animals that size. Daisy wouldn't stand a chance. So I don't let her out the back door like I used to without me watching. They come through every once in a while. I saw the tracks going around my balcony when it got cold for a while, and it was definitely a coyote, and I thought, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. You'd hear a scream, and you'd run out there, and Daisy be on the ground bleeding to death. Yeah, I don't doubt that, but you know what I'm getting at. I mean, I'm sure that happens. A little dog isn't going to do the damage that a big dog is. And if a small dog attacked Daisy, I would first try and get her away and break its neck after that. I'm not doing that with a lab or a pit bull or a Rottweiler. One. You don't see them, and they're around, but that was only a single set of prints. I told you that buddy of mine down in Hilton Head, in that neighborhood, the neighbor got eaten alive, and so did the dog by an alligator. Yeah, and let me tell you, that so those coyotes are experts at killing things. Same way with these like red-tailed hawks and these Cooper hawks. You know, they've had thousands of years of evolving. You never see a Cooper's hawk or a red-tailed hawk or a bald eagle screaming with a bloody foot because whatever it was they were trying to kill, saw them at the last second. They come flying in from behind, strangle them. There's no way they're getting away from those talons. And they look around to make sure nothing's sneaking up on them while they're strangling whatever it is they swoop down on. Coyotes are like that too, experts at killing things. Yeah, cat too. Yeah. Yeah, I had some pit bulls, and I guarantee you, they would have eaten a coyote alive. For sure. But still, you know, when it's dark out and they got a hold of your animal and they're screaming and yelling, good luck hitting them with the 357. That's one thing that turned me off a little bit in Hilton Head. Look, I'm a wildlife nut. I like them. Uh, but, and when you go down to Hilton Head, they treat those alligators like they're royalty. If you're too close taking a picture, they're not worried about your safety. They're worried about you hassling the alligator. I get this, right? I get all this. Okay? But I don't want to live in a place where you're going to allow alligators to eat pets on in backyards and not do anything about it. Not happening. I love alligators. They think, you know, they should be protected. But I'm not living in a place where you don't have a problem with an alligator scaling a fence or getting under a fence and coming eating my dog in my backyard. Not happening. I would cut that thing up into a million pieces. Yeah. No, I went through a big lawsuit with pit bulls one time. Yeah, everybody was afraid of them. Now my pit bulls were not people aggressive. And even if you study pit bull fighting, there's a guy in the pit that didn't know either dog. But animal aggressive, I had some that were animal aggressive. It was a pain in the ass. It really was. I didn't worry about them with kids or people or anything like that. But, you know, I had one down in Florida one time. A lady came over with the mini pincher. And my dog just happened to get out. And we didn't even know she had a dog. This mini pincher jumps out of the side of this SUV. And this pit bull takes after this mini pincher. And, you know, they're quick little darty animals. Well, as it turned out, the pincher was able to get picked up by the pincher thought the pit bull was playing. So did the owner. It wasn't playing. It would have ate that dog alive. Yeah, well, I mean, there's been pit bulls in the past were signs of wealth. Petey and the Little Rascals was a pit bull. The RCA Victor dog was a pit bull. You could have one in your dormitory in the University of Michigan in 1920. They didn't start getting a bad rap until, you know, the 70s and early 80s. Yeah, they're great dogs. I love them. But if you've got a game pit bull, even though I'm not worried about him biting the mailman, I am worried about your cat and your dog if it comes running up to him, even if mine is on a leash. It's just too much stress. Yeah, they were for wealthy people. I bet I had 100 photo albums with rich people posed with their pit bull. Yeah, they're great dogs. But if you've got a one that's game, that's animal aggressive, it's a constant potential problem. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's a lot of good books on pit bulls out there. Yep. And the same person that doesn't agree with dog fighting will go to a bullfight or a rodeo. Right. You know, I don't know too much about them. I know when I went through a lawsuit with some pit bulls, I did a lot of research, and Rottweilers weren't high on the biting list like people think they would be. I don't really know too much about them. I don't know anybody that's got bit one by one, or I don't know. Yeah, that's true. But you know, a lot of these Grand Champion pit bulls, they look like they could eat a Volkswagen. People break into their houses and steal them because they understand that they're not people aggressive. You got to train a dog to protect you usually. I know they make Hallmark movies out of Lassie protecting Cleaver, what the hell ever his name was, but in reality, they've done studies on that. There's YouTube videos. You simulate your home getting broken into and the damn thing's under the bed shitting because he's scared. He's not attacking anybody. Yeah, when trained. That's right. That's exactly it. On the other hand, if you live in a crappy area and you need protection, what the hell good is a pit bull that isn't capable of biting somebody? No, no, not really. Nope. Just crazy as it sounds, just talk to her. No, it's nuts. No. I, it's all, no, Drazy's the smartest dog I've ever had in my life. She was told to sit once, and it's been that way forever. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. But when you really get down to the nitty gritty and you try to trace down a real story of gunpowder, it's more like urban folklore. And that people are training, that's where all the little dogs that are stolen, they're giving them to pit bulls to eat. I call horse shit on that. Throwing a teacup chihuahua over the fence to a pit bull doesn't make that pit bull do anything better than he did before that happened. That's nonsense. That's it, Penny. You're right. Yep. I mean, in Detroit, I mean, I know where there's, where they fought dogs. I could go up to any of them, pet him on the head, give him a hot dog. They didn't give a shit. Friendly dogs. Yeah. Well, you guys have a good day tomorrow. I'm going to give Daisy her gunpowder and try to get some sleep. Right. Yeah. Yep. It's cool enough tonight where Daisy will get out of the way of the fan. I got a little fan for her. I can tell. She's due for another haircut tomorrow. All right, Frisky. Yeah, see you, Blue. See you, JMO. Bye, Penny. Anybody else? See you, Sammy. Yeah, I think so too. Yep. I mean, I've heard it all about airplanes and what pit bulls do, and all the gold coins everybody finds the first day they use their metal detector. You know how it is. The fish that got away. I want facts. And when it's regarding medicine, I want studies. So have a good day, you guys. Hey, see, it is getting a little lighter out. See that? Yep. All right, you guys, take care.